Hi everyone, hi beautiful souls. Wow, it's been a long time that I haven't posted something or written something, and it feels nice now to start again. I've been preparing a lot of things, new things for you actually for Gamla Healing, and I'm gonna release almost everything pretty soon. So yeah, stay in touch, stay connected to my account, and you will see what's coming up. I wanted to, yeah, just make this video tonight because, yeah, right now a very big astrological event is taking place, and we are right in the middle of the energy of the solar eclipse that happened a little bit earlier today, a partial solar eclipse actually, that happened in the sign of Taurus. And so, just to talk a little bit about the eclipses, um, it's something that always happens, right, since the beginning of times. For humans, for thousands of years, eclipses were something very mysterious. They didn't really know what it was, and um, they were actually triggering waves of fears and panic among humans all over the world at that time. And the sudden disappearance of the sun or the moon, depending on the type of eclipse, was thought to be the doing of some god eating them. And our ancestors correlated also the occurrence of those events, of those eclipses, with natural catastrophes such as earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes, like big natural events. And in the case of solar eclipses, for example, the temperature at the surface of the Earth, when it happens in the middle of the day, the temperature at the surface can locally and suddenly drop by 5 degrees. So it's really, it can be really incredible, right? And when you think of it, when you had no idea of the physical explanations of those events at that time, it must have been super scary when suddenly the sun in the middle of the day disappears and darkness comes up, and the temperature drops very suddenly for several minutes, and you have no idea of what's happening. So it's normal that for our ancestors, those events, celestial events, were so powerful and so important. And it makes me it makes me think about a story that I was reading a lot when I was young, and it's a comic. I don't know if you I have no idea how we pronounce it in English, but it's Tintin, or I don't know if you pronounce it Tintin or Tintin, or it's a Belgian comic, and in one of the stories he's almost being burnt alive by Incas in South America, and he saves his life by predicting that an eclipse is gonna happen, and he's like making a prayer and asking the gods to save them if ever they are hearing his prayer, then they should make the sun disappear. And of course, as he had the knowledge of what was about to happen, the moon passes in front of the sun, and the Incas think that he's a very powerful magician somehow, and they release him, which is completely stupid, by the way, because the Incas had a very good also knowledge of astrology and astronomy already at their time, so it doesn't really make sense in the story, but whatever. It's a very nice one if ever you want to read it. And but nowadays the eclipses, they are very understood, and it's really common knowledge that the sun the moon is passing in front of the sun, or the earth between the sun and the moon, and that's why they are disappearing more or less 4 times per year. But the fact that we know that this event is normal, make us a little bit more, as for everything, lose interest in the cosmic dance and in the meaning of what's actually happening. And we forgot that actually when an eclipse is taking place, it's a highly charged energetic portal that we can use to really grow and propel ourselves in the future, to really sow seeds that are very, very more powerful than on the normal new moons or full moons. So yeah, I think it's really important already to not forget that yes, we understand that it's a physical normal event, that yes, the bodies, the planets, the earth, the sun, the moon are passing in front of each other, and that's why we don't see them, they are disappearing. But the meaning behind this is far deeper. And now if we come back to this solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse that happened today, a little bit earlier, taking place in the sign of Taurus, this is a very interesting one and very exciting one, to my opinion. Why? Because Taurus is the sign that is related purely to our resources. So our food, our money, our home, what is a shelter for us, our clothes, our land where we can make food grow, all the resources, the energy, the money, everything that we can use to maintain us alive or to make us feel better or to grow, to nourish ourselves. And this eclipse is taking place in this sign, so this topic, all those topics of of Taurus are activated together. And this eclipse is in alignment with Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And what is Uranus? It's change. It's radical, sudden change. So if we combine everything together, it's easy, right? This eclipse, the main theme of this eclipse is radical, sudden change in the area of our resources: food, energy, agriculture, our home, our possessions. So all those topics are going to be affected, and they will go through radical changes very the chance is very high that radical changes will take place in this area. So it might be seen as a bad thing, because change is not always welcome, right? Because we want to keep our comfort, we want to stay in the same comfort zone all the time, we don't want to lose our money, we don't want to have less food to eat, we want something that is more or less constant. Or what is more going on in our capitalist society since decades is that we always want more. So if ever someone tells you that very soon you're gonna have less, I don't think it's gonna be welcomed very well. And the thing is that it's not that we're gonna have less, it's just that the changes that are gonna be triggered are gonna try to show us that we need less, to bring us back to reality and to the simplicity of life. This is another aspect of Taurus, the simplicity, the peace of life, to open our eyes again and show us that we actually don't need that much to feel good, to feel safe, and to be healthy and feel alive. We don't need so many different clothes. We don't need to have the last version of the iPhone. We don't need to have a new pair of shoes every month. We are natural beings. We are in the essence we are just beings on this earth, and we don't need that much. It's a social construction. It's something that that has been forced in our heads, that we always need more. And right now what's taking place, and everything that I'm saying is already, everything has been, the energy has been building up in the last weeks and months, right? Since the Pluto return of the USA that has been that has happened at the moment when the war in Ukraine started. This has been the trigger of this buildup of energy that is leading up to those radical changes that are related to all the Taurus topics. So everything that is happening right now in Ukraine is moving everything around those topics, right? It's like changing all the place of power regarding the money, the currencies, like the ruble, the money of Russia is increasing. The euro and the dollar will decrease. The yuan will increase. I'm not an economist, but you can document yourself on internet. Like, we are financially worldwide we are going through a massive change regarding the economy. So it's really interesting once again to see how accurate actually astrology is, because we have no idea. We as astrologers, we knew that something of this kind would happen, but we had no idea how it would. We never know exactly how it will play out in the world, in reality, right? But we knew that massive changes were coming up in the domain of economy. So I just mentioned the examples. Massive changes in agriculture and the way we produce food, we use food. Right now, the war in Ukraine is really affecting the agriculture. They can't harvest what was growing before the beginning of the war in Ukraine and in Russia. They can't sow new seeds for the next harvest in 6 months. So the result is that we're gonna face big how do we say, we're gonna miss a lot of cereals and a wide variety of food that are based on those productions in those countries. And there are countries that are very dependent, highly dependent on the production of food in those countries, in Ukraine and in Russia. So once again, it's another point like that is concrete and tangible to see where it is actually activated in the agriculture, that the supply chain of food everywhere is going to be affected by what's happening right now. But it's not, it's just the war in Ukraine is just an example, but it's a global change that is going on everywhere on the planet, and it's just the top of the iceberg that we are seeing, and that's how we can really explain it right now with examples that we can read everywhere in the newspapers and on the web. So yes, it's gonna be very funny month ahead and years ahead, I think, because it's not I think it's gonna be like this. the changes that we are going through right now are gonna completely change the order or of the world that we've been living in the last decades. Like there's a completely change of power that is going on, and a complete new order is gonna take place. It's not maybe it will certainly not happen in a few months, but those are the very first steps leading to a new world order. So another aspect because I took a road that is quite far from astrology. I'm going back now. Saturn is also squaring this eclipse right now, squaring the moon nodes. And Saturn is the structure, right? It's the rules, the law, the way we organize our societies or our lives. And it's right now in Aquarius, the sign of humanity, of the social fairness, of the interconnection of beings, like the help that we can bring to each other, the collaboration. So by squaring the nodes, showing that we are going through a complete change, radical change in the topics of money, land, food, clothes, home, etc. Saturn is like putting a lot of pressure also on what's happening right now, forcing a restructuration of everything in the society. All the events that are taking place are gonna lead us to review all the laws, all the structures, everything that is in place at the moment, and to redo everything, to rethink everything. And it's an amazing opportunity for us to actually start again on a new base, not from zero, of course, but to really adapt to those new situations that are gonna come up. How can we reorganize ourselves to be more self-sufficient? Self-sufficiency is Taurus. Like, I am at peace, I am self-sufficient, I am able to sustain myself with exactly what I need, not less, not more. Right? So how do we come back to ourselves as individuals or as a group? And how can we produce what we need to feel safe, to feel secure, our food? How do we cultivate our land? How do we produce enough energy to sustain our lives without being dependent on other entities that are controlling us or that are not available anymore? Right? So it's a complete rethinking, restructuration of the way we are living right now that is taking place. It's gonna be super difficult, extremely complicated, and it's just the beginning. Yes, it's just the beginning, I really think, and you can document yourself more. There are different experts on the web in all the areas that I've mentioned, in energy, in agriculture. You can go a little bit further and see that it's gonna be very, very complicated to deal with all this, because yes, we are gonna have to stop producing in China, for example, what we are eating here in Europe, but produce locally. But the thing is, how are we able to produce now locally? It's almost impossible in the structure that we currently have. So it's gonna require a lot of effort to change everything, and also to change our daily lives. Because something that I forgot is that what's going on economically right now, or that's what's gonna happen economically, at least in Europe, means that the euro is gonna fall down, drop so down compared to where it is right now, that the level of life that we have right now is gonna be completely destroyed, and it's gonna be very, very, very strange for us to experience that, because we as European, we were used to go everywhere in the world and use our purchase power with our strong currency, buying everything, going to the other side of the world for almost nothing. And now it's gonna be possibly not possible, or very difficult, and we will be maybe the countries where other countries are coming because we are cheaper, right? So some very famous economists are saying at the moment that Europe very soon is gonna be in the same situation as Greece was when we, as European, put all the sanctions, the punishment to Greece some years ago because they were not able to pay their debt, right? And I think that any Greek will agree that it's not a situation that we want to be in. So yes, enjoy. I think we have to enjoy what we have right now, because it's gonna be very different very soon. And personally, I speak about it super lightly because I kind of, maybe once again, maybe everything that I'm saying might not happen, I don't know, but it's so far everything that we as astrologers say is happening, so why would this not happen? I don't remember what I wanted to say. Yeah, maybe it would not happen, but this is my feeling. This is what the readings of astrology are saying. So I say it lightly because it's gonna be a radical change, sudden change for everyone. But like, you see, Uranus in Taurus is like the earthquakes, it's volcano, it's like floods, hurricanes. It's like, it's violent. It's gonna be super violent. And actually, Uranus has been transiting the sign of Taurus for several years now, and we've been experiencing on the Earth more and more volcanoes that were in eruption. So this was another synchronicity. But I speak about it lightly once again because even if it's gonna be difficult, it's for the greater good, if we can say that like this. Because who can say right now, if you are listening to me right now, who can say that the system, the societies in which we are living right now are making sense, are healthy, are respectful of the earth, of nature, of the animals, of us as humans? No. So it has to change. It has to change. Because we are basically destroying everything. We are destroying Mother Nature. We are destroying ourselves. We are so, there's such a thirst for power coming from our governments, our countries, our politicians, our presidents, that only big issues, big conflicts, big changes can actually help us start all over again. So we actually need this. And yes, it's gonna be extremely hard, most probably, but Saturn in Aquarius is also showing this. It's gonna be a restructuration. Saturn is the work. It's like the long-term investment. Yeah, you're gonna have to work and work and work and work to build up those new structures. But in Aquarius, is like through collaboration. The collaboration of every individual that will bring its own qualities, its own strength, its own wisdom and intelligence. Everyone as an individual will have to collaborate to create new structures, to create and produce new ways of producing energy, food, building new types of homes, learning new ways of working on the land, and so on and so on. So it's with such difficult events, we will have to bring everyone together, and we as humans collaborate in order to face all those challenges that are coming up. So yes, that's everything I wanted to say for this solar eclipse that has been taking place in Taurus all year. It's like an eclipse. It's like a super new moon, right? It's a new moon on steroids. So the seeds that you're gonna plant in the next days are gonna be far more powerful. They're gonna have a far bigger impact than usual, than the seeds that you are, the intentions that you are setting on the classical new moons, right? So really sit down and think about what you actually wish for yourself, but also for the world, for the new society that we can all build together, because we're gonna need every single person to invest and think about how we can do that, right? It's gonna go through collaboration, not alone on your side, gathering as much money as you can, gathering as much food as you can, gathering as many objects as you can. No, it will be what can you wish for yourself to help the community to face all those challenges, right? And one of the answers is like to become yourself. It's to really become who you truly are, to develop your powers, your strength, your talents at their best, to bring to the society, to the group, what you actually know the best, right? To bring yourself to the community. So sit down, meditate, and ask yourself, what can I actually bring to the community, to this world, to help make this huge transition that's coming. So yes, there are still many things to say, but that's what I wanted to share. If you listen to what I was saying until now, I really say thank you, and I see you very soon, maybe for the next eclipse that will take place in more or less 2 weeks. Bye bye, Bridge.